Hey everyone, welcome to Vectornator's design meetup. I think this is the third event now, and in this one we'll be talking about designing promotional visuals, and we will be sprinkling a little bit of AI magic on top of it. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Medet. I'm tuning in from Istanbul. I joined Linearity earlier this year as community and events manager, and I'm super excited to be here, to be at this event as well. We have so many amazing community initiatives coming up, and I just cannot wait to show them to you as the weeks go by. But just jumping onto the agenda, today we are gonna take a look into our use of AI. What does it entitle here at Linearity? And our design director, Ralph, is going to show us some AI magic, some producing marketing assets with AI and turning AI generated images into vectors, and then some further features from Vectornator. And we are then going to put all of that good info to good use in the more than capable hands of our design lead, Julia. And she's going to take us through the process of asset creation. But before we jump into anything, I actually have a quick little poll to gauge the audience, see how people mainly use Vectornator for. So let's just give it a few seconds as the answers pop up. Quite a lot of hobbyists. Okay, I'll take 75% as a good amount of participation. So 55% hobby, 21% professional, 13% marketing materials, 11% educational. A mixed bag, I'd say, but enough from me. I will now stop sharing my screen, and then I will pass everything to Ralph. Ralph, the stage is yours.
Thank you so much, Medet. Hey everyone, my name is Ralph. I'm product design lead at Linearity. I've been here for almost 5 years, so it's really cool to be in one Zoom room with all of these Vectornator users. And yeah, today we have a really cool, exciting topic, and it's mostly about generating marketing assets or promotional visuals for your designs. It's definitely a challenging topic, and we've been looking into this in our team a lot. So yeah, without any further introduction, I'd like to start with why do we want to produce some of these AI assets? First, the need to produce content faster is very much increasing. It's accelerating at a much higher rate than ever. And the need to create content with that speed comes with lots of responsibility. You need to keep creativity going. You need to do a lot of consistency across your work. So, and finding the right assets that you need for every design task is definitely a challenging topic. I know some designers who spend hours in stock image search in the search bar trying to find the right visuals that they need for their posts. And it's definitely a time-consuming task. And of course, we all know that design overall is sometimes some of the design tasks are repetitive or labor-intensive. You spend lots of hours trying to draw a shape of an airplane that you want to use only once in your life and you want to move on. But you spend so much time drawing that one object. So with all of these issues or all of these things that are plaguing our design, we see that AI has the potential to kind of automate a lot of these tasks and to work with that today. And actually, yeah, the technology today is ready to use it in your everyday life. So that's what I want to try to show you guys today, how you can use AI in your favor, in design, in creating some promotional assets. So when we looked into the AI field, we looked into like, what kind of assets do they generate? What kind of things do people want to make? And the biggest answer that we got from our users, or actually from marketers, was stock photos. That's because stock photos are very specific. They're made to be used in a general way, but they're very, very hard to find, and they're very hard to fine tune. Usually your choice or your request is very, very specific. And what you're looking at right now are just some of these AI generated images that are done in a stock photo style. You can see a dog doing yoga, or a cute corgi, or some women working in the office, even a cute dog working in an office, or a cat. So these were generated with AI just by simply prompting the AI and talking to it and asking for a general stock photo-ish type of image. And if you look at the bottom left corner, you can see this is the prompt that I used. I start with a high quality stock photo of, and then I write what I want to see. And then in the end, I say with professional quality and general appeal suitable for a wide range of uses. If you include this in your prompt, in the way when you talk to the AI, the results will look very much like stock photos. We'll try to look very much closer to that. So if you like to screenshot that, please do. You can repeat that quite a lot. But this is very typical. Like, we know a lot of image generation AIs, and we've been using those for a while. And I made a few profile pictures as well. It's really nice. But what else could we do? What kind of other assets that we can generate in our everyday life? So we looked into this, and we found potential in combining and using Vectornator in that, into turning lots of AI assets into vectors, and to be able to use them everywhere and a lot of much wider range of uses. So we looked into icons, we looked into silhouettes or vector shapes, backgrounds, graphics, even illustrations, even complex illustrations. They can be generated with AI, and we will have a live demo right now where we generate some of these together. But the cool part is that you can take all of these and input them into Vectornator, and you will get vector results immediately. So yeah, the magic is the relationship between the AI and Vectornator being able to take all of your generations and putting them in there, which we hope we can do now. On the other hand, we also have a really cool feature in Vectornator called background removal. And background removal also uses AI to remove the background from your photos. Here, these are some examples that I used to remove the background. But today, we want to try to generate new backgrounds after background removal. So you remove your background, and now it's time to create a new one. For now, I want to leave my pitch deck and start actually generating with you guys. You might ask me, what kind of image model am I using? And for this demo, we decided to use Stable Diffusion, which is an open source model that you guys can access with a lot of different services. So you can search through Stable Diffusion. You can find a lot of products online that are quite cheap to use. So let's try to use this today. And here is a model for creating stock photos. So what I want to do is take one single idea and go through all of these different cases we talked about. We talked about icons, silhouettes, graphics, stock photos, even some portraits. Yeah. Let's take one idea and try to take that and make these different styles. So you will see me use a lot of weird words. So if you look at this interface, you can see the prompt. This is where I tell the AI what I want to see. But also there's a negative prompt. This is where you tell the AI what you don't want to see. It's kind of like the opposite of the prompt. It takes a lot of work to kind of like input and to write all of these words and to see how you want to reach this result. But hopefully this will become much easier. So let's come up with a really cool idea to draw. Maybe we can draw an idea from the chat. Does anyone have a cool idea that they would like to visualize?
Flying dog.
Okay, let's take some more suggestions. Let's see.
Swimming kiwi, Egyptian god, flying dog playing the clarinet, zebra nuts, what? Hot dog.
Okay, there's a lot of cool ideas. Maybe I can take a few of these ideas and kind of combine them together.
Sure.
Maybe we can put a zebra on the beach, maybe.
Let's do it.
Let's try to do that. So let's say a high quality stock photo of, and I'm gonna remove this golden retriever in this botanical garden, and let's say zebra, a zebra on the beach. So because I put all the words regarding stock image search, it's going to try to create a stock image version. And we never know what the results will be. So I hope that these will be usable. So here you can see like a stock photo-ish style of the zebra on the beach. And yeah, it looks pretty good. So I'm going to save it. We can move forward and say we can use it for portraits as well. So here I have a photorealistic studio portrait of a woman in a botanical garden. I'm going to also change that into a zebra on the beach. I am not sure it's going to take a good portrait photo of that zebra, but we can see. Cool, but you can see now that it kind of made a close-up shot, like a much closer shot of the zebra.
Close to a portrait.
Yeah, I pretty much like this. Oh wow, this is my favorite.
So cute.
So yeah, but now this is where the challenge starts. These are normal photos we used before, but now we want to try to vectorize some of these and make something cool. So now let's try to create some cool illustrations. So let's do the zebra again. And we click on Dream. This is an illustration style. So hopefully I could take that and put it into Vectornator to auto trace it. So we can see it did not do it super well. So I'm going to try to switch the type and try again. I see. So here is like more of an illustration type that looks like maybe I could change the color of the sky later, or maybe I can edit that. Don't know why it chose to make a red zebra, but I guess we could go with that.
Why not?
Yeah. So now let's go to silhouette, and silhouette is maybe my favorite use case that I found because I can auto trace this pretty well.
Yep.
So if we go ahead and try the zebra example, let's say, and click on Dream. Let's try to make more ideas as well. Imagine that, let's say I want a silhouette of people in a meeting. I can also click on that. So, wow, I mean, the silhouette of this zebra looks a little bit broken, but I think I could adjust that in Vectornator and work with that.
Yeah, with
so I'm going to save it as well. Same as this. Okay, you can see also the silhouette of people in a meeting is something I could easily auto trace and use later. So I'm going to save a couple of those. Hopefully we can auto trace as well. Now, when it comes to an icon, this is where it simplifies everything. It makes something a bit more simple than an illustration. And we can try to use the zebra again. Oh, wow. So just a small tip to see what can help you with these prompts is that in the negative prompt, or Vectornator's auto trace works really well with solid colors. So you can see me every time I'm writing a prompt right here. You can see that sometimes I'm saying, this says a minimal illustration of a zebra on the beach with detailed rendering and vibrant colors with clean lines and solid colors. I'm telling the AI, please make solid colors. I don't want gradients because if it had a lot of gradients, sometimes Vectornator could struggle to auto trace these photos. So just by simply telling the AI, be simple, be minimal, it will try to make that much easier for you. Now let's try some other styles. There's some really cool styles we want to try. We tried the icon. It's very minimal. Maybe I could make a zebra icon out of this one.
Definitely.
But the isometric is very fun. So let's try to put a zebra on the beach. All right. So the isometric, I know some companies who only do isometric illustrations in their websites and in their work, and I find that quite amusing. So if we see, I hope we can see. Now you could see a zebra in an isometric form. Okay, this one is definitely my favorite. Yeah, so basically you could try these isometric style as well to reproduce when you want. Line art is very famous as well. Maybe not the beach anymore, in a garden. Just gonna change it up.
Someone in the chat said Zebra's on a meeting, please. We'll try that next.
Cool. So you can see one line art version of that zebra. And when you see something this simple, you can already tell that you can make a lot out of it inside our app, our software. And yeah, here you can see there's some line art as well that you can try. And let's see some other styles. You can also generate some patterns and do a lot of things. Now, if we go to Vectornator and we look into this, this is another problem that we looked into called background removal. I have this model who is posing in a studio. This is also AI generated, by the way. She's not real. We will do some experiments on her photo today. The first thing I want to do is, of course, do some background removal. And in Vectornator, it's as easy as clicking on remove background. It's that easy. So you click on remove background and you instantly are greeted with a very high resolution version. And you can even see the details of her hair are also removed really, really well. What you need to do right now is, of course, export this photo out and put it into any app that uses Stable Diffusion to edit that. But hopefully you don't know what will happen in the future. Maybe you could do that inside our software. But now I already inputted our model into Stable Diffusion, and let's try to do something with that. The first thing I want to do is get rid of this party hat because I do not like it at all. And you can easily do that with some eraser tool. So if we simply erase the party hat, hopefully it will never appear again. That's great. I think I'm happy with that. And what's really cool with background removal is that now you can add a new background. Now you can actually think about something you want to add. And I thought I could take her to some really cool cities, somewhere nice, like New York, for example. So here I wrote blurred background, shallow depth of field, like a nice portrait photo of her in the street of New York. I would love to use that. So let's click on Dream. So we got some results. The first version I really like. It even completed her hat. It made it a fedora a bit more.
Yeah.
So I kind of like it. But you can also switch between the variations and see what kind of things you like the most. Of course, not all of them are perfect, but I highly recommend like playing it out and testing more different things. So here you can change. So let's imagine this is cool, but I want to cancel it and let's do another city. Let's go to let's say botanical garden in Japan, and click on Dream.
Wow.
Wow. Okay, I can see. So some of them could be useful. Maybe this one would be my favorite. It looks a bit more abstract. What's important for you to know is that like it takes into the coloring into account. So her face, all of the colors that she's made of, it takes it into account, tries to generate something that works with it. So that's image editing live that you can see. So for the last trick, I want to go back to Vectornator and maybe use some of the really cool photos we generated together to auto trace it and see how we can get vector results out of it. So the first thing, I have so many zebras right now on my computer, but I'm going to take these zebras and throw them into Vectornator. So all right, where did my zebras go?
Here they are.
Here they are. So what I can show you is when you're using a silhouette, our system automatically detects that sketch auto trace is the best one for it. So we're just basically using AI to auto trace an AI photo into vectors. And here you can define the contrast and complexity of your photos. Maybe you have tried this feature before, but it's very simple to use. You can turn up the complexity and maybe some of this and click on auto trace, and boom, you got a silhouette version of a zebra that you probably can use in your design. And here you can easily just change the color and see. I hope you can use some silhouettes in your design later, because I like to use them a lot personally.
I think I will. I think I will.
And about this broken zebra with its broken leg, we can also try to auto trace it. I highly recommend Sketch Trace for black and white or monotone tracing. It's really helpful and it does it really effortlessly. And you can now fix the leg, of course, because it's a vector. So double clicking on this, just moving some of this out, and boom, the leg is fixed. So trust me when I say generate some AI art and just have fun with it a little bit in Vectornator, you will get some really outstanding results. Now let's try some other types of tracing. With this is a more simple form, but we're going to use illustration trace. And with illustration trace, all you need to do is to choose the level of detail that you want to have. And for that, I'm just going to go with regular. So regular did not give me the desired result that I need. And you can go a little bit with high, and you can also play a little bit with the minimum path size and get kind of different results. So here there's more details, but it needs some light retouching. So you can always, of course, these became shapes. So now you can go ahead and recolor and do everything that you need there. Let's see some of the other examples that I generated before. You can also see some of these photos. There's this photo of a cute corgi dog. And if you click on auto trace, boom, you get a perfect version of the corgi. There's a few icons that I also generated in the same way. And you can also hit on auto trace and get really usable results with them. And of course, my favorite again is silhouettes. Like we talked about, like that you might want to draw an airplane. You probably want to use it only once in your life and you're moving forward with your design tasks. I just simply can generate this airplane and use Sketch Trace, of course, repeating for that. You can just use Sketch Trace and you can see the nodes already on screen. So I probably just copy this airplane once and use it, and that's all I care about. Same with these people in a meeting. I really imagine myself putting like a nice picture of a city behind them and like design something really cool about that. So when you click on auto trace, again, you see everything ready, and you can easily use the silhouette in your designs from now on. And yeah, it's really cool because you can use also these simple icons and just using single click and you just get vectors immediately. And with that, look how clean the vectors are. You could see just with minimum retouching, and this is only the beginning for Vectornator. There's a lot of improvements coming to auto trace and other features, but it's really cool to see. So just to recap everything, we generated a lot of cool photos together. We did some nice zebras, and now to go back to my slides. Yeah, so we basically generated some vector assets together and auto traced those in Vectornator. We removed some backgrounds and generated new ones out of them with AI. And the last thing I want to leave you with is like a question in general. What if everything is as easy as that? What if someday you can generate all of the assets you need, if they're images or vectors or icons, without huge knowledge in prompt engineering? I hope that one day you don't need to screenshot the prompts I'm giving you and teaching you how to write and how to produce these things. So that's a problem for another day. So I hope we can generate that someday together and see that in some software. I don't know what name that is. But now we generate a lot of assets, and we need to know how to put all of these assets into real work and seeing how it works inside Vectornator. And for that, I want to introduce Julia to the panel, and really excited to see what you will generate.
So thank you, Ralph. That was mind-blowing. I really love everything that you're doing with AI, and I really hope we can put this into work very soon. So I'm gonna start with the live demo. So hi, my name is Julia. I'm from Barcelona. I've been living in Berlin for some time, and I'm the design lead here at Linearity. I've been working here for over a year, I think. And yeah, let's get to it. So here's my file. So I'm going to start, this is going to be the creation of some social media assets. I'm going to start with a basic Instagram post that I got from the artwork section here. We have some already made sizes that we can use, and you can also have your own custom size, right? I started with Instagram posts, which it's the base of this campaign for a beauty brand that I'm going to be working on. So let's start with one of the latest things that was implemented here. Ta-da! The fill in the artboard, easy. We don't need to use a rectangle as a background anymore. No one is gonna be tweaking rectangles out of place anymore. This is now easy for everyone. Then let's start with the naming. The summer sale campaign, let's say. There we go. So as a tip, I would start always naming all your files, layers, groups. It's a little tedious at the beginning, but it's going to save us time in the long run. As a preparation of this, I'm working with a brand which I've been working for a while, right? And I have all the assets that my client or my team has prepared for me. I've been giving copy, I've been giving pictures, I've been giving graphic elements that I can use. So I've stored from previous works, everything on our templates library, right? So this way I don't have to be out and in of the software. So I have everything that I want here in one place, named correctly. I can browse through and search for what I need to use. So I know there's some graphic elements I want to use, probably some of these pictures as well. And also, if you don't have the pictures available, you still need to browse. You have Unsplash integration, which is really easy and comes really in handy for this kind of work.
Or I can generate some for you. So,
or you can call Ralph and he's gonna just generate something for you. So I know I'm gonna be using this texture for a background, scaling a little bit, so like that. Yep, let's go. So next, I'm gonna be using text to name the campaign. Let's use this. Let's look for the picture first. So I want these hands. This one, nice. Size, let's remove the background. There we go, nice. Now, I'm gonna label, so I know, and this is the lines of the background. I'm gonna lock this because I actually like the size and the placement, so it doesn't bother me in the future, but I can tweak it afterwards if I need to. Also, now that I'm here, I'm gonna clip it so I see exactly what's in my artboard. Next, let's use the pink peel. Here, I'm gonna say only this week. This text needs to be green. By the way, another tip is to have your palette here. Can I move this? I'm gonna grab the color from here. There we go. So I want this to be aligned. And I'm gonna group it because this is gonna be working together. Sorry about that. There we go. So this is aligned, and I know I have this title here. Nice. So next we need the copy. It's gonna be here by one. Get it's capitalized. Net 1, 3.
It's a great deal.
Yeah, right, for a summer campaign. So let's scale, center. Nice. Okay, I'm gonna move this a little bit. I think I can make it bigger. So, and I want this to be a little bit over the title, so we have a little depth. Nice, what do you think? Cool. Then next, I know this is lacking a little bit of color. So another thing that I like to do, as Ralph just showed, is silhouettes. So this is a natural skincare brand. So plants are part of the brand book, and I'm gonna be using autotrace. In sketch mode, let's see, complexity about 40% because I don't need this to be super accurate, and contrast about 65, let's say, and I'm gonna select ignore white, so I don't need all this white. It's like auto trace and background removal all in one. There we go. Okay, let's tweak it. I want maybe a little more contrast, so I don't have that much white space. Perfect. Okay, let's change the color and scale it. Something like this. Yeah, a little bit transparency. And then I'm gonna use it in the background. Something like this, so we don't lose readability on the text. And it looks okay, right? Okay. Then I'm gonna name these plants pink background. So moving on, Instagram story. So we go here, social media, and we have all a wide range of assets we can create. This time we're creating an Instagram story. So let's name summer sale story 1, because I'm going to be creating maybe a couple more. Fill, this is the last color I've used, that what it remembers. By the way, here we have the skincare palette, which is the one that I'm using. I have it here in the first place because I set it as so many, but I've set this one as a primary, which you can do here. So I have it first thing when I'm working. So it saves me time. Instead of going through these, I can also search. And I have these 2 palettes, but this is the one that I'm using now. So I can change it if I need to. But when I know that I'm working on some assets, this is the faster way to go. Then again, let's go through this. Lines for the background. There we go. Lines and lock. Again, it comes really handy that you can, oh, where is the text missing? Okay. Now it's part of the group. Have it here. Picture, I'm going to use the same one, so I can easily grab it from here. Have it already without the background. Size needs to be tweaked.
Now, Julia, as you go down the slippery slope of quite a lot of different layers and quite a lot of namings, do you have any recommendations on how to keep things neat and tidy? I guess it's sometimes it might feel like a diary, or when you get this perfect new notebook that you start writing super carefully, super neatly, and then at day 10 it's like a mumbo jumbo. But like I'm super keen to hear your thoughts on how you organize your stuff.
Ideally, I try to name everything from the beginning, and I know that it's always like a little difficult to do it, and I also like it also slips my mind when I start working. I just focus so much on the stuff that I'm doing that sometimes I forget. but try to have it as a best practice thing. So in the long run, and especially when I have to share with my team, with my manager, and they have to, for final approval, if they know, listen, this plant, and I've been using, I don't know, 3 different kind of plants maybe. So I need to have proper naming so people can give me proper feedback, which is really important for a designer, as you might know.
And I'm on the other end, super lazy to name my layers.
I know. I mean, I'm saying I'm not perfect. I'm saying this because Meredith asked, but it's not always the case that I always do it. By the way, this is another great feature that was implemented recently, is that in the same text box, we can use now different styles. So I want to highlight this now, for instance. So I don't need to have another text layer and another text element, just everything in one place. It's just fine. So this is looking nice already. I'm gonna also use the same plant here as a background. I'm gonna move it to the back. Just tweak it a little. There we go. So you can read everything just fine. And now I see the hands are okay. Nice. I'm pretty happy with everything. I'm gonna lock the plant here. Well, no, because I need it again. Next artboard, let's create just another story because one is not enough. Again, summer sale story 2. So I know it comes in second. Also, when I have to share it with my social media workmate, they know. Background, let's change it to this green. This is the isolated state. I'm going to copy everything here as it's part of the same campaign. Picture and plant. There we go. There you see the amount of nodes that this plant has. So I can really edit even the last bit. Every tiny detail that I want to edit, I can do it. This, I'm going to change it a little bit so it doesn't look so similar for someone that's just navigating through stories. Also, if you've seen when I drag holding option, all the name is kept. So I don't have to be naming again and again. And actually, I'm not going to repeat this. I'm going to use another picture. What we have here. Let's see. This is nice. I'm going to remove background again. And there we go. This works perfect. Nice. And another feature that we have in our software is that Vectornator recognizes the files that we import. So right now, I didn't even name this, and it was already labeled as portrait. So it's already good enough for me to go, and I don't need to rename it again. I'm going to lock it as well as the background, and I just realized I forgot the lines. So let's use the lines again. Like this with the scale handle, and I'm on the back. Perfect. Okay, that's nice enough. It's just missing copy. So I'm gonna drag this one and say they need, oh, okay. Sorry. Okay, I don't know what happened. Okay, just let's pick it up like this. Let's say they need, like our customers need one coat, right? So use code summer sale. Easy. And this, actually, let's use this. Make sure it's a line. I don't want this to be so bold. I think a medium will do. Yeah, perfect. So I'm gonna use different colors so it's more highlight. Then the last thing I need is a header for my newsletter. This one, it's one custom size that I've created before. I have also one banner size that I've used previously, but let's say this newsletter header is what I need. Perfect. So I'm gonna put it here. Let's say newsletter header. The name is already fine. Let's change colors. Add the lines on the background.
This is the part I'm more excited about. It's more switching from square to vertical to sort of landscape, and I'm really curious to see how you are going to keep the design elements and still make it look on brand.
It can be challenging sometimes, I agree. I like it because you need to change what you've been using so far, right? And you need to see things from a different perspective. So this banner is going to have some links. So I'm going to use this button. Whoop. There we go. It's still too big. Let's see. Alignment. Yeah. This was, by the way, was the isolation mode. So you can focus on everything else. Okay, that's something like that. Let's use another picture, like this one here. Scale it. Something like that. Gonna be removing the background. This is one of my most used features, I would say. I'm gonna flip it because she has like a little cut here in her arm, but look how good this is. I don't even need to retouch anything. It's perfect. And then, yeah, just some copy and some plants left. Let's say summer sale starting now. Change the color because it doesn't have any, something like that. Scale it. Align this to perfect. Okay, then just I'm gonna copy this plant for a final touch of color. So we keep it consistent. It's like Bible of designers is just consistency. Let's keep it consistent. I forgot to name stuff, by the way.
Well,
One day the robots will do this for us.
I hope so. I hope so. This would be a great AI addition. Some layer naming. Something like this. Let's see. What do we think? I think we're ready.
To me, this looks very consistent across all of them.
Nice. So yeah, we've kept the same palette. We've used the same elements. Vectorizing things makes you able to resize infinitely. You don't break any image. You can use it in the smallest and the biggest frame artboard that you're using. And with the background removal, which is my favorite feature so far, you see how easy it is to implement the pictures. With what Draft did previously, this would be even better. So these are some stock photos that you can find on Splash, but when you get what exactly you need, then I cannot imagine the infinite possibilities of this. So yeah, this is everything from my side.
amazing. Well, yeah, I just commented about all your work on the chat as well. Like, I just love how you say, like, yeah, keep it consistent. As if it was that easy, Julia.
I mean, it took some practice. Don't get me wrong. It's not like a day of work, but after some years, you kind of hone your skill and you practice, right? Just like with the prompts, it's just a matter of practice and just practice.
All right. Before we jump into the Q&A section, we would love to hear your thoughts. So we want to really know how can we improve. So here's the QR code that you can just scan. It will lead you to our feedback form about this event. It's completely anonymous. There are a few questions. If you can fill it out and let us know how everything felt, that would be amazing. And with that, let's jump into the Q&A section. I'll actually stop sharing my screen because, yeah, I think it's better to see everyone's faces. All the meanwhile, everyone has been very busy answering all the questions, so kudos to the team. But let's start taking the questions one by one. So the first one is from Kristen that we didn't get to answer. Would it be possible to create a seamless carousel? Being able to line up the artboards would be awesome. I think that's sort of dependent on how you use the software, but keen to hear your thoughts.
You want to answer?
I think like creating a carousel, like out of like lining up the artboard is definitely a challenge when you have like a huge canvas. But I think it's definitely a beautiful suggestion. I think we should look into.
I think
like
actually this alignment of the artboard is something that we have in the works. I think it's a feature that's been requested. So you definitely can align the artboards and create a carousel post, because you've seen also how elements, they don't necessarily need to be clipped. So you can see what's outside the artboard as well. So yeah, definitely.
Awesome. So the second one, I can take this one, I guess. Will there ever be a version of Vectornator for Windows? I think it's not something we're necessarily looking into, but you never know. You never know. There may or may not be. Paula, you said you accidentally put it in the chat. I found it out for you. If you can use AI for the assets, does it also have a pattern maker feature? I guess this one's for Ralph more.
Interesting.
Yeah, making patterns is definitely one of those annoying things where you have to duplicate and copy over and over. Like, I remember that we have looked into a specific pattern feature, but with AI, you can already generate some patterns. It will attempt to do it, but you will have to manually, in the end, copy and paste and see how big you want to make the pattern. We don't currently have a way to make patterns other than manually copying and pasting, but I could gladly share some of the recipes I used to generate some patterns in Stable Diffusion. Yeah.
Thank you. So the next one is from Wigneswaran. I hope I pronounced it correctly. Would you be able to export objects independently of the artboard?
Yes, you can use the artboard as a frame or like a clipping, or you can export it independently like SVG files and PNGs without background and so far.
Yeah, you can actually, if you right click up in the layer tab, if you right click the layer, you will be able to export it. And hopefully we're looking into a lot of cool new export features, being able to export maybe at least 3 objects at once, multiple objects at once.
Nice.
We have to see.
We're taking notes. We're taking notes.
Taking notes.
I'm actually going to jump to Nandini's question because I think they asked it in the chat before as well. How to effectively use the scissor tool? I have never been able to use it successfully. So any quick tips on that?
You need to be safe with scissors, but I think using the scissor tool effectively is, it works really well on vectors, right? You use the scissor tool a lot sometimes. Right?
I would say it's pretty straightforward. You just mark the points as nodes where you want to cut. I would suggest that you can go and visit our Learning Hub in our website, where we have a detailed information and guide of every tool that does on our software. So if you go and look through scissor tool, you'll see demo videos, you'll see a thorough description of all the features that the scissor tool has, because there's different modes and different ways you can use it. So I would suggest to have a more thorough info about this to go through our Learning Hub.
True. Another one when you export and save as, is it possible to keep the artboard name as file name, especially for macOS? You both were using the macOS already, so I think maybe Julia, you can take this one.
I think when you export it, the default name is on title, but then you can change it on the software, like before the last stop before clicking save, I would say, or export. You can change the name there. Yeah.
We have a very ambitious question from Thanasis. Is there a plan to improve the auto trace for illustrations?
Maybe I could pick that up.
Please.
Like recently, you might notice that like if you auto trace something with our app, you might get a question sometimes. It will ask you if this auto trace was successful or not. And currently, yeah, our ML team is looking into ways to improve this just by training, and we're learning from you if the auto trace was successful or not, and into training our model to make it a bit more efficient. Hopefully it will, and really excited about that.
Same.
We have been giving quite a lot of teasers about what might be coming next. Yeah. So the last one for now is from Jolon. Will there be a plugin shop come eventually? I'm interested a bit in developing procedural design, or know people that are. I guess the AI integration for vector generation would be a paid add-on. The last bit is a question for another day, I'd say, but the first bit, yeah, Ralph, do you want to take that?
I'm not sure about a plugin shop. I think like it's yeah, like our users are very excited about asking us, is this coming? Is this feature coming? And so on. We're looking at a lot of different problems in terms of design.
We listen.
We are trying to listen.
You guys ask and we listen. That's a given.
Yeah, and not only me and Julia, you know, the people who are outside right now on the camera, like the people watching the team, they're all super like passionate about developing these features. Definitely plugin is cool because then we can connect with other people and other passionate people about design to help us. We got to see about that. We can't reveal too many secrets in this call, I would say. Yeah.
True, and I think like it's more about opening the doors to everyone, and that's what we are doing with this event as well. Like I'd say we're trying to at least taking the first steps to sharing what knowledge we have with everyone. So last one is more of a shout out, I guess, from Giovanni. Does Vector Nature have some kind of Patreon to support you guys? I think you already are supporting, and that's an amazing question. I'll put it like that. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you. That's really good.
I have one final one from Paulo in the chat. Is there a place where to see the previous webinars? There will be, as we've mentioned, we are recording this webinar, and after we conclude the session in a short bit, we will be uploading the recording on our YouTube and share it across other social media channels. I think we can take one quick last one. Would you have a library or UI elements for web design and mobile with some AI to help suggest what goes where? Oh, wow. With some AI to help suggest what goes where is a bit ambitious, but maybe the first bit?
I think in general, we do have a way that you can create your own library. Julia used it in her design, right? You had a lot of elements saved up. So if you're using a lot of web design, we don't want to send it to all of our Vector Native users. Some of our Vector Native users don't use a lot of web, but we highly encourage you to create your own library. Yeah. And hopefully in the future, we should be able to help you a bit more on that.
Hopefully, yes. Yeah, suggest like a huge library is just gonna help you. It's gonna make everything faster for you on your workflow, and name things properly. This is also really important because when you get to have more and more assets, you can go through the search bar and look for naming, and this is a huge amount of help.
And don't forget that the library is being synced across all of your devices. So if you're working on iPad and Mac and iPhone, you will see the same objects appear and you'll be able to sync them quite
Exactly.
seamlessly. Yeah.
Really handy for some quick edits and fast feedback sessions.
Yeah, I keep my signature in my library, so I can always use
See,
it.
that's smart. I don't do that.
Yeah.
I will.
I just like to round off everything on the notion of like library and having ready set templates to go to. I think maybe everyone can keep their eyes peeled. We may or may not have an event that's based on templates happening in the next month or so. So I'll just leave it at that as the final amount of teasing before we wrap up. But we just have 1 minute left on the clock. If there are any last minute questions, we can take them. If not, and that's it. A huge thank you for joining us today. And another huge thank you to Julia and Ralph for the amazing presentation.
Sure.
And I think it was super nice to see this synergy between you as well. And I kind of felt left out all the way from here. So, but thank you everyone for joining. We hope you had a great time, and we will be looking forward to seeing you in the next one.
Thank you guys for tuning in.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.
Ciao.